Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football, continuing to take a look at the next week's slate, heading back down to the SEC. Ole Miss heading on the road to play Mississippi State, the Egg Bowl rivalry matchup. Really excited for this one. You look at Ole Miss going for that 10-win season. You look at Mississippi State playing for a bowl game. A lot to play for both of these teams. Really excited to get into this one. Before we do, just want to say thank you to you guys. The support you guys have shown for all of these game breakdowns truly does mean a lot. I love doing them. Love talking ball with you guys in the comment section. If you do enjoy the content, you want to support the boys, consider subscribing to the channel. Again, thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have shown. And without further ado, let's get into this one. And I want to start with this Ole Miss team that you're getting they're closing the gap. That's where I'll start, right? You look at their only 2 losses on the year, an Alabama team that looks like a team that can win a national championship, and then obviously the back-to-back national champs, the Georgia Bulldogs. Outside of that, Ole Miss, you can see them getting better year after year after year as Lane Kiffin continues to get the talent into this roster. If you're an Ole Miss fan, you're really excited about not only Jackson Dart saying that he's going to be coming back for the 2024 year, you're getting back Judkins. You can get to 10 wins, go win a bowl game, ride that momentum, arguably being a top 10 team heading into the 2024 year. You're feeling really good. And you look at Mississippi State, obviously an extremely difficult year, an extremely difficult 12 months for Mississippi State, right? Obviously losing Mike Leach, one of the most beloved members of the college football world. Coach Arnett takes over, and you look at this Mississippi State team specifically on offense, and the identity is not there. Coach Arnett tried to take an air raid roster, a roster that's built to run that air raid system, and make them a more balanced pro-style offense. They didn't even have a tight end on the roster last year, and now they're running 12 personnel pretty consistently. What you get is a team that doesn't really have an identity, right? They weren't built to just move bodies in the trenches and play this kind of style of offense. They tried to do it, and they don't really run the football as effectively in the passing game, not nearly as dangerous as what it was under Mike Leach. And that lack of identity kind of leading to an offense that's only putting up 20.7 points per game. That's 101st in the country. Getting into this matchup, I want to start with this Ole Miss offense going up against the Mississippi State defense that has been solid against the run, only allowing 3.9 yards per carry. Nathaniel Watson, Jet Johnson, 2 of the best linebackers in the SEC, but you look at the secondary, that's where Ole Miss is going to be trying to attack. Giving up a 70% completion percentage, that's 131st in the country for 7.8 yards per pass attempt. That's 92nd. They're giving up a high completion percentage. They're also giving up a lot of explosive plays. That is a bad recipe when you're trying to basically not let teams score points, right? When you're giving up a lot of completions and those completions are going for a lot of explosive plays, it's not good, and you know Lane Kiffin is going to try to exploit that. Now, it starts with the run game, and I think a lot of Ole Miss fans realize this. A lot of casual fans who might just watch the box score might not realize this. This is an Ole Miss team that their offense goes through the rushing attack. They run the ball 56% of the time, and when they do have success, not only are they running the ball effectively, they're working the RPO, attacking the middle of the field. So you look at keys to the game on this side of the ball, getting that run game going against 2 linebackers that are really good. That offensive line against Louisiana last week, it wasn't good enough. You need to see that performance that you saw against a team like LSU where they're running the football, establishing the line of scrimmage. And when this Ole Miss team with Quinshon Judkins, Ulysses Bentley are running the football effectively, that's when Jackson Dart is at his best. And you know Ole Miss probably going to be trying to take advantage of a Mississippi State secondary that isn't great. And I think you look at this wide receiver room, it's something that we've talked about a lot. We didn't get to see the full extent of this Ole Miss offense for most of the season because it always seemed like somebody was battling an injury, whether it was Quinshon Judkins earlier in the year, whether it was Trey Harris, whether it was Jordan Watkins later in the year, Caden Prescorn. They're finally all pretty healthy, and you're seeing an Ole Miss offense that can really put up points and put up points fast. I mean, it's hard to deal with a guy like Trey Harris who, for my money, one of the best wide receivers in the SEC. Jordan Watkins, Dayton Wade, 2 guys that with the ball in their hands are as dangerous as anyone in the country. You have a really good, reliable tight end in Caden Prescorn. At the end of the day, it's Ole Miss, just too many weapons on the offensive side of the ball to try try to have under wraps. And so you're looking at this Ole Miss team trying to get after a Mississippi State secondary that just hasn't really been able to stop a nosebleed. Now, flipping sides of the football, Mississippi State on offense, going back to what we talked about, not much of an identity. This was a team that was throwing the ball 65% of the time last year, one of the largest air raids in the country. Now only throwing the ball 47% of the time. That's 72nd in the country. They're trying to run the football. The problem is they don't have the bodies to run the football the way they want to and the way it needs to happen for this offense to have success. Only averaging 4.1 yards per carry. Getting Will Rogers back is big, but this offense just has lost its ability to hit those explosive plays. You take a look at some of the numbers, 6.2 yards per pass attempt. That is 107th in the country. When Mississippi State does want to drop back and throw the football, they've really struggled to kind of find those explosive plays. And I think they got gutted in the transfer portal, losing some of their top wide receivers to the transfer portal. It's tough to see Mississippi State continually moving the ball against an Ole Miss defense that doesn't get enough credit. And I get they had a rough game against Georgia, but on the season, they haven't been that bad. They have 25 points per game. That's 55th in the country. They've been solid against the run. I think one of the more influential aspects of Ole Miss having one of their best seasons under Lane Kiffin is the talent on the defensive side of the ball is just much better. Like, you look at that front seven, in years past, it didn't look like an SEC front seven. This year, it really does. And again, Georgia, maybe they didn't look as good, but when they go up against teams like Mississippi State, they are the better front seven than what Mississippi State has in the offensive line. Isaac Okuku, Cedric Johnson, I think I said that name right, JJ Pegas. I think you got some really good linebackers, Suntarine Perkins, really, really exciting true freshman. Not sure if Mississippi State is going to have enough success running the football. And again, that passing attack just hasn't been there against a Ole Miss secondary that not horrible. Like, I like some of the guys like John Sanders back there in the back end. You look at how you pretty much kind of how I'm looking at this. You look at both of these offenses going up against both of these defenses. What offense do you trust to put up a little bit more points heading into this one? It has to be Ole Miss. Now, the tricky part is for Ole Miss, like, yeah, you are 2 touchdown favorites heading on the road. This is still a rivalry game. This is still a game that you've seen be close when one team is favored and one team is not. At the end of the day, you have to come in. You have to handle business. It's on a short week. I think it's really good that Ole Miss was able to kind of put that game away on Saturday relatively early, be healthy heading into this one. Getting to the pick, one, I trust this Ole Miss offense a lot. I don't trust this Mississippi State offense a lot. You look at some of the other storylines, Ole Miss been one of the best teams in the country in turnover margin, 14th in the country. Mississippi State, 92nd, turning the ball over far too much, not forcing any turnovers on defense. For those reasons, I think everything says Ole Miss. And if you can go on the road, handle your emotions, play your best football against this Mississippi State team that does not have their head coach, hard to see Ole Miss not taking care of business in Starkville. Really excited for this one again. Appreciate you guys rocking with the fellas. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.